Wow, it's bright out here. I've gotten outside much earlier than I did yesterday. The sun is actually still coming up. I think it's, well, I guess it would have come up an hour and a half ago. It is now 9 o'clock, I think, or just before 9 before I walked out the house. And today I want to go back to, I'm trying to do this one-handed because I have my coffee in one hand. But yesterday where we left off was, I had laid down the landscape fabric, and I said I wasn't gonna put any holes in it, but I did end up burning some holes in the landscape fabric. And after I burned the holes, I realized I did it too close. Hold on, let me wait for this truck to pass. So you can see I burned the holes in the landscape fabric, but after I did it, I realized that I burned the holes too close. They're more like 4 inches apart instead of 9 inches apart. If I was doing 9 inches, I would have done every other one, so it would only been 1, 2, 3, about 4 going across and going down. But I don't know what I was thinking. So, but I didn't realize that until after I had already did most of the burning, and then I was like, wait, what am I doing? So what I was thinking that I would do is 2 options. I can either plant my zinnia seeds here and just still plant 1 in each hole, and because I'm planting them from seed, not everyone's gonna germinate, and you know, hope that, you know, they germinate 1 every other, or just go ahead and plant 2 seeds per every other. Like I said, these are seeds that I just got from the store, like my local big box store, a couple days ago. And then the third option is so I did start some seeds indoors, some cut flower seeds, and you can see by this tray they aren't very full at all. I have some like 5 cosmos, a little bit of yarrow, a little bit of status. I have a few foxglove here, a few poppies, nothing really, just 1 blue bachelor button, and what is this? This is, oh, some yellow snapdragons. So I have just a few, and then this tray over here, which just has onyx, which just has a little bit of baby's breath. So the other option is I can go ahead and transplant all of these seedlings into that area over there. One, because all of the seedlings that I planted up here, they can all do good in cool weather. So I necessarily wouldn't be starting my zinnia seeds early if I just went ahead and transplanted these. And then I could just go ahead and, because all of these seeds that I planted would space 9 inches apart, so then I could go ahead and plant, just skip every one, and if I have any more space, then go ahead and plant zinnias. So now that I said that and explained that, I think that is what I'm going to do. This bed is distracting me because if you can kind of see, it's like puffy right there, and I'm wondering if that's grass trying to grow up through that bed, which would suck because that is my tomato bed. I'm gonna go I need to go into the hoop house really quick and get something, and we'll be back. This is actually a weird time in the weather where it is now 55 degrees out, but it's gonna be 82 today, and my hands are kind of cold, and I thought about going inside and getting a hoodie so I could put above on my head because my neck is kind of cold. But then it's like when I walk to the front of my house right now, the back part of my garden is shaded because it's still trying to come over the trees. But when I walked to my house, the sun was shining and I felt instantly hot. Onyx is behind me again. And so I decided not to go ahead and change when I felt that cold air hitting, or when I felt the sun. I'm just using, this is half of a kitchen scissor to poke these plants out of this tray. and I'm just gonna transplant it like this. And it's supposed to rain later tonight, and I only have less than an hour out here. I have to leave a little before 10 because I have a Bible study that I'm attending. Ooh, it's cold. The summer hasn't even got here yet, and I'm trying to train my body. If you've been around for any amount of time, you know I am not a morning person. I can wake up in the morning. I don't like going outside and start immediately working. Wow, those roots were long. When I wake up. But that always hinders me in the summer because it gets hot when about the time that I do feel like going outside, which is usually around 10, and then I'm outside for like an hour or two, and then it's burning hot and I need to go back inside. Oh yeah, those roots are really long. So this one had two together. I'm gonna see if I can separate them and see if they transplant well. It's so crazy because I have my drip irrigation here, and I was waiting until like the warm weather and till like it all passed so that I can like any dangers of frost or anything like that. And then I felt like, you know, when I had the time to do it, like I planned it all out, mapped it all out, and then I was just like, okay, I'm waiting so that I'm not putting the nozzle on the hose back there and then it, you know, freezes and I have to take it off. And so I haven't done my drip irrigation. But then now that it's, what is this? What are we in? March? I'm like, oh wait, drip irrigation. And I haven't started it, and we're like 2 weeks from my last frost, and there's like no danger of, you know, frost coming, and I haven't started my drip irrigation. So it's just like that just like happened fast. It was like 1 week there was no signs of 1 week there was no sign of or 1 week there were signs of frost and I was trying to wait, and then next thing you know it was frost was over. And now I need to get my, oh my goodness, Onyx, why you keep scaring me? What are you doing? I'm like sitting here planting, and all of a sudden I just felt something big behind me. They're like just staring at me, making me distracted. Anyway, so needless to say is I need to get my drip irrigation out here. So I've officially planted this whole bed out with the 4 trays that I showed you earlier, and I do have one more tray left, and all of this is baby's breath mostly. There's a couple, there's like what, 5 carnation and like 4 straw flowers. The rest is baby's breath, and one, I don't have another bed ready to plant these flowers, and 2, these are all cool weather flowers, like I said, and I don't even know if some of them, if this is going to, like, if they're going to bulk, go to seed, or anything like that. A lot of these flowers have never grown before, and so I'm just going to go ahead and fill the rest of these flowers that I have in this tray in the other holes that I have, even though it won't be technically 9 inches apart. Just for a variety of reasons, me not knowing if this was going to work out, me not having another bed ready, and not wanting to waste a space, you know, if this isn't going to work out, and all of the above. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in some of the areas, especially because some of the snapdragons were like really tiny, and technically when I look back on my old pictures, I've already had snapdragon blooms, bachelor button blooms at this time, and I already have bachelor buttons that are about this high in the front of the garden, the forever garden beds that I planted back in November. So bachelor buttons is very frost hardy, and so with snapdragons it got down to 15 degrees, and even for multiple days. I didn't finish drinking my coffee. I should drink it before something gets in it, and then I'm gonna finish planting out this bed, and then we'll be back. Hopefully I can get this done. It's 9, when I asked a few minutes ago it was 9:35. I have about 20 more minutes. Actually, I don't think I'm gonna, because my legs are hurting by squatting like this, and I want to finish this coffee and get myself together before I go to Bible study. So I'm actually going to be back with you guys and let this sit and hopefully come back out and it be a lot warmer. So it's much later in the day. I just finished eating a very late lunch. It's, what time is it? It's 2:55. I came back from my Bible study. I did go ahead and put the rest of those baby breath in here, so this whole bed is planted out. But while I was at the end right there, there's kind of like a white spot. I did end up adding diatomaceous earth, even though it's gonna rain, just because there were so many ants over there and they started biting me and it was no fun. And then let me show you guys. I took off, it's actually all the way over there. Okay, I took the cover off of this bed because I was thinking I would go ahead and get this bed planted, but as I took it off, there were a lot of holes and just ant piles, and there's just like really big fire ants. Like I can see them, they're just huge. In this bed, there's an ant pile at the end right there, and there's an ant pile right through here. What I did was, I was like, okay, I'm gonna put diatomaceous earth, and even though it's, you know, supposed to rain later today, I'm like, at least it could start working, because once you put diatomaceous earth and it gets wet, it becomes ineffective. And you can see that it does have like all of those white things coming out the ground is grass that was trying to grow, and it was just covered, so it couldn't grow. And I was just thinking I was just gonna pull that off and pull out the grass, and I would have, and then covered it with landscape fabric like I did the other bed. But having ants in this bed completely, you know, changes the whole atmosphere. So then I walked over to this bed, and I was like, okay, well then maybe I'll just use this bed as a flower bed instead, and when I get that bed done, I'll, you know, plant whatever was going to be in this bed, because they're basically fairly, you know, the width is about the same. But then when I came to this bed of course would have ant piles as well. So I don't think I'm gonna get any more flowers planted today like I was planning on it, but I'm glad I did get that one bed. What I need to turn my attention to is getting all of this plastic off of all of these beds, and just to assess and make sure that there's not any more places that have ant piles that I'm going to need to tend to anytime soon. And so that's going to take time. I'm going to do that off camera because that's boring work. But thank you guys for hanging out with me while we got that one bed planted of flowers. I can't wait. I hope that it all, you know, does well and works out, because I can't wait to see how it looks in the late spring, early summer. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.